Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome back to the Roundtable Talk, where we don't just talk, we tackle. Again, where we don't just react, we reveal. Where we don't just
Oh,
shake our heads, we raise our hands, roll up our sleeves, and start building. Tonight's show isn't for the fainted at heart. Of course, it's not for the comfortable. Bah, that didn't want to come out at all, right? It is not for your comfort. It's for the people who still believe we can, who believe we must, and we will. Take back the essentials of life, our health, our water, and our land. If you are not ready to confront some ugly truths tonight, this might not be your show.
mm.
But if you're tired of smiling through suffering, tired of watching history erase itself in real time, tired of excuses from leaders, neighbors, and sometimes even ourselves, then pull up your seat to this table because tonight the kitchen is hot. And the truth is being served straight up. Let's get to work. Let's really get to work. So, let's stop playing games about this, y'all. First, well, before we get to that, let me welcome my co hosts, Dr. Catherine Campbell,
Good evening, everybody.
Dustin Harris,
What up?
and Perry Busby.
Good evening, Bo Mine.
Absolutely. So, you know who I am. I am definitely the one and only Unc Christopher James Jones. South End's fine. No, let me stop. Let me stop.
Sad dog that can't wag his own tail. That's all I can say.
Well, I can't claim the whole South End's finest, but I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them. Um, we have a very, very peculiar show for our listeners, viewers, and watchers on tonight, and I'm sure that members of the table, did some dissecting, probably seasoning up some meat to put on the table for the night. Butcher the hog or whatever. We do have some Creoles on here. Um, but our national topic and our first topic of the night, um, of course, it's based on Black health, but we definitely want everybody to know that if we're talking about us, it includes everybody. Did I get an amen? I heard an amen. I heard
Amen.
an amen. Amen.
They're gonna pick
Lights.
it back off of him
Amen.
regardless.
So enough.
you already, you already know that's don't start. Don't start early, bro. Don't start early. They gonna log off. No, so our national topic is Black Health Isn't an Accident. It's a Target. The title for this particular topic, The System
Hmm.
Was Designed to Kill Us Quietly, and We're Still Letting It.
Hmm.
It's not a coincidence that we're sicker, dying younger, and being blamed for it. The grocery store deserts, the hospital closures, the insurance scams, the ignored mental health crises. This was not by accident. This system profits off of our slow suffering. Our talking points that we want you to have at your roundtable tonight is Black life expectancy is reversing for the first time in decades. I said reversing, just so you know. Food deserts, hospitals shut down, poisoned water supplies, not accidental. Mental health ignored because strong black people don't break, right?
Hmm.
Wrong.
Wow.
Our
Wow.
roundtable question for my co-host is, when the environment is designed to kill you, how long can personal responsibility be the only answer? Our seasoned solution for this particular topic comes from, actually, launched Black lead, Black led neighborhood health hubs, not waiting for state funding. Host real health literacy workshops at churches, rec centers, barbershops, and more. Form local alliances with nurses, doctors, and mental health workers to create safety nets just in case the city hasn't done so. Verified resources, of course, comes from the CDC Health Disparities Report, and that website is www.cdc.gov/health equity index.html. Of course, just like all the time, this website has a wealth of knowledge and information for us as a people and we as the people. Huh? Y'all got that? Yeah. So our second um our second source of information comes from Black Women's Health Imperative. That's BWHI.org. Again, peruse through this website, you will find a wealth of information. Ladies, it's all for you, I promise. That's B as in boy, W as in whiskey, H as in hotel, I as in indigo, .org. Again, peruse those websites, come familiar with those resources, and Miss K, when the
Hey,
environment when the environment is designed to kill you, how long can personal responsibility be the only answer?
it's a profound and urgent question. You know that, right?
I figured as much, especially coming from Dr. Catherine Campbell.
Well, when the environment, whether physical, social, economic, or political, is actively harmful or stacked against the survival and dignity of personal responsibility alone, it quickly becomes an insufficient response, you know? Personal,
Ah,
yeah. Personal responsibility does matter, but it's only one piece of a larger puzzle.
right, right.
Hmm.
I totally agree.
In hostile conditions, people can make heroic efforts and still fail, but not from lack of will or discipline, but because the system is rigged.
Is it?
Blaming individuals for outcomes shaped by toxic environments become a form of cruelty or denial. Ah, come on now. At some point, the burden has to shift to a collective responsibility, right? You have to
It
have systemic
must.
change, solidarity, and policy reform and community support. So we got to work together at
A
this,
collective, yes.
a collective. What you got, Dustin?
I got an easy fix. We ain't even got to point no fingers, no blame, nothing. That's because we playing the game the wrong way. We playing
Is
the
that what
game as if
you
we do something that they gonna allow us to do it. That ain't how they play the game. So let's change this. You want to fix them from killing us in healthcare, killing us through our water and all that, and killing us through police brutality? Every black person get an expensive life insurance policy.
What you mean, like $1 million life insurance policy, Dustin?
You gotta hit them in the pockets. Cause guess what's gonna happen if that life insurance policy has to get cashed in? They go investigate down to the screws in the building.
You're
So
absolutely
let that
correct, sir.
hospital have not did every step they were supposed to take.
You're absolutely correct, sir.
That insurance company gonna be on their neck.
Because it's gonna be too many rich black folks, huh?
Exactly. Cause why
Absolutely.
do you think when other races, the old people get old and they really don't really care that they getting old and about to die? Cause they know as soon as they die, they finna sit down with a lawyer, and the lawyer finna say, "Hey, you get this, you get this, you get that." When black people seem to die, all they get is somebody bringing them a bill.
That's true. So we got to start demanding something better,
So
and we got to start doing that together. You
rack
know,
up the insurance.
that's right.
Perry.
Yeah, I would not disagree with these two uh,
Man, they came to hit tonight. You hear me?
insightful comments. I would not disagree. Um, but yeah, I guess what I would add to it in terms of how we began to look at personal responsibility, communal responsibility, and collaboration
Mm-hmm.
is one building trust back within our own communities. If we know the system is against us, then is the community complicit, or is it my protector, or is it just asleep at the wheel?
Mm.
And
We have to start.
so you know, yeah, yeah, and so I again, conversations like this began to play a role. I was not to get off topic, but it just adds to the topic. I happened to hear about a conversation about our seniors and the wide disparity of not just having valid ID for voting, but the issues around Social Security and a lot of the other issues that they're having. Conversation went from the fact that we have seniors who have ID, but that ID is an entity unto itself because it doesn't match other things. Let's say you have a driver's license, the date on the driver's license and everything doesn't match the date on your birth certificate. It doesn't match, And so we do, and especially understanding the huge migration that happened in the early and mid 1900s of the shift from Louisiana into Texas on to
Mm-hmm.
uh, California, you begin to have a lot of that. And so there was a conversation about that today. And I just likened it even into Chris, you and I have had conversation about the health disparities and the work that we're doing around air quality. One of the things that I think that we really just need to begin to focus on is becoming, Chris, you said an interesting word that I like in that discussion. You said a hub, and it is beneficial for us to create, in addition to community associations and community things that we know, that we somehow develop these hubs of truth and responsibility back for our communities, and that they have a purpose that's different from the community associations or whatever. But that's that collaboration that we all have to come together,
Right.
uh, because we suffer in silence. And at best, if we speak, we want the saints to pray for us. So the saints are praying, but where's the other sources that are needed to fight this disparity? Is what we've got to really get ready for and understand what this new age that we're in, where everything is so data driven. that
Right.
we're just not keeping up with. I mean, we on the table. We're getting sliced and diced in other places,
Frat paid.
and yeah, and we just keep producing more and more specimens.
Yeah.
I think also too we don't advocate enough for ourselves. I have
Hmm.
had, personally, um, I have had therapists tell me that uh my particular insurance was not that good, but I say my insurance is wonderful because they never tell me no. And you know what their answer was to me? That's because you advocate for yourself. You're absolutely right. I call them, I talk to them, and I'm asking all the right questions. I'm asking
Mhm.
the questions of the doctors, I'm asking the questions of the insurance people, and I'm keeping up with my payments as well. So even at the end of the day, at the end of the year, when all of my out of pocket is met, I'm getting refunds. But
True.
that's because I'm advocating thoroughly for myself.
Yeah.
But we need to know how to do that in our community as well and help each other.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Basically,
Okay.
stop just going along to go along.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And accept
It's
their answer, especially if you have another question, ask the question. There's no dumb question. That's what I was
right.
always
It's time. It's time out for It's time out for that. You
for
know what I'm
going on.
saying? Especially when we have doctors and other medical professionals who may not give us that thorough information, right? That information, especially if we're not asking those questions, Miss Cat. So I agree. We definitely have to put ourselves in a perspective of taking self inventory as well as what people tell us, right?
Exactly.
Um, let's stop playing the game. Black health didn't just, and I got my notes too. I got my notes too. Black health didn't just happen to become worse. It was planned. It was engineered, and it's still happening. Across this country, we're getting sicker and dying younger. And before somebody jumps in talking about a personal responsibility, let me be clear. You can't preach personal responsibility where there's no grocery stores within 20 miles. You can't preach fitness when every green space is a parking lot. You cannot tell people to eat better when the cheapest meal you can afford feeds your hunger but starves your body. There is no way, shape, form, and or fashion possible that you can do it. Hospitals closing in black zip codes or predominantly black zip codes, and in urban areas and in rural areas. Doctors who don't choose to listen. Mental health is ignored until it's too late. Look at your news. Look at your news. Beaumont, Texas, USA. Look at your news. Peep your news. It'll tell you. Water. Poisoned, but nobody arrested. Make that make sense. We still have folks in Detroit going through the issues that they have with water. Mind you, we have water issues here in the state of Texas. Nobody's talking about it.
About it.
Our air is dirty. Our air is 100% dirty. But nobody pays fines to TCEQ and or those that are infected or affected by dirty air.
Uh,
We say health is wealth, but when was the last time you fought for either one of them?
mm.
I'm just asking. To my co-host, when the whole environment is set up to make us sick and blame us for it, blame us, whether it's things we eat, whether it's, oh, you too stressed out, different thing, our culture, blaming our culture on our illnesses. Um, what are the real first steps in fighting back and not just surviving another day? Think about that, y'all. This war on our bodies has been silent for too long. Tonight, we make it loud. Any, so I do see a few, um, I do see a few comments. Mr. Jones, that's
Uh
the entire Detroit. All of Detroit. That man that what happened in Flint came from the state level. Nobody was arrested on the state level.
That'd be Michigan.
Yep,
oh.
that be Michigan, the entire MIT.
Mm,
That's who is
mhm.
responsible for the care, protection, and safety of all Michigans, if I said that right.
I don't know what they call themselves.
Regardless to
Michigan.
MITs,
Oh Lord.
regardless to which section of the MIT that they live in. Mr. Derek Jones also said you have to qualify financially for $1 million policy.
All you have to do is have a job, basically. Because if you
And have
could
the money to pay that
financially,
thing.
yeah, if you could financially pay your bills
Your
and pay
premium, yeah,
it, probably the max of probably $50 a month, you can have $1 million policy. People just don't think they can.
awesome, awesome. Well, we'll
Cause they're
move to
gonna check
number
them finances to make sure it can hold up.
facts.
Cause soon you lose out on some ducats, they're gonna cut you off.
That's some ducats. I ain't heard that in a minute. Our topic number two comes from the state. Is on the state level, and I'm sure Texas is not the only state in this particular predicament. So, our state topic is Texas's water has already started and we're losing it. You thought it
Mm,
was about land, it's about water, and they're already bottling it up without you. Land grabs are happening, yes. But what they are not telling us is that water grabs is happening even faster. Corporations and private companies are buying water rights right from under our noses because they know no water, no farming, no water, no homes, no water, no life. Your particular
mm.
table for our listeners and
No
viewers,
water,
your
no
particular
oil either.
facts. Even if they use
In order to get
brine.
oil, you got to put salt water in there. You got to brine it out. Yeah. So yeah.
Yep, yep. Your roundtable talking points for our listeners and viewers is Texas aquifers are collapsing. I don't know if y'all read that or not, but they are collapsing. The Ogala aquifer dropped 20 plus feet in parts in parts in just 10 years alone. Private water companies are profiting off of rural and urban shortages. Rainwater harvesting, illegal in some areas without permits. Why? Control? Our roundtable question
Mm.
for my co host is if you don't control your water, how long before you don't control your food, your house, or your freedoms? Our seeds for solutions
And
is force public meetings with local water boards to expose water ownership contracts, push for rainwater rights, aquifer conservation, and new public wells, and set up neighborhood rain harvesting and independent water testing initiatives. Our verified resources comes from Texas, hold on, Texas Water Board or Texas Water Development Board, and you can find a wealth of information there, including their meeting agendas and work sessions. The website is www.twdb.texas.gov. Again, that's www.twdb.texas.gov. Our second source of information comes from Circle of Blue, where water speaks. Their website is www.circleofblue.org. Again, that's circle of blue, all one word, .org. So, my roundtable folks, my crew, If you don't control your water, how long before you don't control your home? I mean, how long before you don't control your food, your house, or your freedom? Dustin, go ahead.
I just want to know who said you controlled it currently?
Well, most people believe
Because they
that.
fools. All right, moving on. You don't control nothing in America. You don't control the food. You don't control the water. You don't control the air. You don't control your electricity. You don't control nothing. Did people not watch the Lorax? I get it was a kid movie, but it was vital. It showed you don't control anything. Because
Need a
people keep talking
Lorax.
about,
You
oh, well,
right.
nature is nature. Look around Beaumont. Every day they cut more and more trees down in Beaumont. Guess what prevents flooding? Trees. And they start cutting them down, and all of a sudden we start getting, what is it? Once in a decade
Rooftop
floods,
water.
once in a
Yeah.
lifetime floods every year.
Yeah, every
Look,
year.
y'all gotta watch these
Not
kid
once in a
movies.
lifetime,
They
every year.
telling y'all what's going on.
That's right.
And about the little water collection, sure, they say it's illegal. But how much stuff people do that's illegal, they do it anyway. What you gonna do? Walk in my backyard without getting slapped?
Huh. While I'm watching.
This is Texas. If I put a no trespassing sign, I can shoot you.
Mm.
So how you know I'm collecting water or not collecting water? Maybe I got a swimming pool back there. You don't know. But people got to stop. Oh, what the government said is illegal. The government said slavery was legal. So why are we listening?
Hmm.
Do what works for you and your house. But
Come on,
they like they
Dustin.
gonna come pay you a visit every time unless you live streaming it.
What you say? I'm showing that people how to capture water.
You water boss 3,000 on Instagram. Come on, man. Stop it.
Oh man, Perry Busby, give me something on that, man.
I was through at the Lorax.
Okay.
I was through at the Lorax.
It's a great movie.
No,
It
you
really
were
is.
no.
It really is.
It is. No, you was definitely on point with that. No, yeah, it in a place where we don't own, uh, we best know rights and we best know survival. Because absent of those, I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, yes, I walk with the air of freedom. You know, uh, and to see, I mean, I'm just, I don't know if we saw the incident of the young lady who got picked up by ICE, had her child in her hand, and the whole community came out. And the whole community was prepared to get busy, and not just with ICE, who they were first, their first line of attack was against their police because the police looked to be defending the ICE agents. The next day, the people weren't through. The people marched to City Hall because they had a question for their leadership. Are you all here to protect us?
Mm.
And I think that just goes into what Dustin is saying. Somehow we walk around with this belief that has no legs, and we don't give leg to our own belief.
Hey man, lights.
You know, And so, looking at that, I mean, we all have to wonder. I'm in Tucson. People in Tucson love protesting. All you got to do is give them a sign and a stick. They ready to hit the street. But how do you do that in a community or in a place that has not shown the emphasis to rise up and speak for itself? So again, I think shows like this are really important, and not just for rural communities, small towns. It is essential for all of us because it is happening in all of our communities, and we're
I
all
agree.
getting pushed, and we're all getting stressed in some
Yes.
simple ways. And if you don't know how to stand up for yourself, or even look for people who are standing up so that you can get with them, we I think our worst days will be ahead of us if we don't adopt those principles.
I agree. Go ahead, Miss Cat.
Well, both of the fellows are right. If you can't control your access to water, then you do lose your ability to grow food, maintain a home and live freely. It's all compromised, right? The Lorax was absolutely right.
Yes, 100%. That
It's
was like
not
spot on.
it's not a resource, it's a lever of power. So if we don't have no water, we don't have no food. Like you said, we don't have no oil. Agriculture depends entirely on water, and without it, you rely on centralized systems or corporations for sustenance. We can't do that. No water, no shelter. Homes become unlivable without running water.
Yeah.
Utilities shut off. You know, people are more people are rendered houseless. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, my thing keeps going off. No water, no autonomy.
Mm,
When water access is conditional based on permits, policies, or profits, you're subject to external control over your most basic needs. So, the Lorax was absolutely right.
I totally agree. Lorax was right on point. Land is important, but water. Water is life, and right now Texas is selling off our life supply behind closed doors. And they're struggling as well to provide that life-saving ointment named water. Texas, all over the place,
Yeah,
is drying up. And I mean literally drying up. Water
you're
scarcity.
already on board
Yeah,
time.
water scarcity
Mm.
is from one border to the next, including the Gulf Coast, because we cannot, we cannot use the Gulf of Mexico to get potable water. We don't have the systems in place to treat or desalinate water in the process of preservation. So we can't store it to process it. I mean, and if you're paying attention to water, um, the oceans and Gulf are saltwater majority. And if we pay attention
That's right.
to our rivers, most of our rivers are becoming inundated with salt water. And most municipalities, like the city of Beaumont, has the luxury of getting its water into its systems to treat from the nature's river. That water, along with the saltwater barrier, is actually being threatened. I heard somebody a second ago say something about our trees. Um, no tree, not even a grass, with the exception of swamp grass, will be able to live when salt continues to inundate the ground and your drinking waters, as well as with rising sea levels. those aquifers become inundated with traces of salt water as well. So, you think you got problems now? Wait until your
Mm,
tap dries up or costs you $400 a month or more, because I've seen a $980 something water bill here recently from the
mm,
city of Beaumont. Um, that amount of money a month for basic access. You think you're coming um you think they're coming for your houses, they're coming for your wells, they're buying rights to water you ain't even drank yet. Private companies, hedge funds, corporations, they're locking it up while most folks are busy arguing about who's dating who or watching court cases like soap operas. Water tables falling across Texas faster than almost anywhere in America. Water rights being auctioned off to private corporations for profit. Rain harvesting is illegal, even though Dustin said try it and put your fence up with your no trespassing sign. Can't nobody tell you nothing in the state of Texas because you stand in your ground. Rain harvesting is illegal or restricted in some areas unless you pay the state for permission to catch your own rain. Mind you,
mm,
it fell on my house, it fell on my property, it's mine. Um, if you can't control your water, you are already a tenant. You're already under somebody else's thumb. You just don't feel the noose yet. Yeah, I said it, the noose. To my co-host,
yeah,
we talk about fighting for schools, housing, voting rights, but how do we protect any if we lose control of the basic source of survival? Water. They already know water is the new goal. The question is, do we?
mm.
Do they know what's gonna happen? Because
Oh, they do.
it I think the rich fail to realize one thing. When people without get tired of being without, bad things happen. And it don't happen to the people without. So where you think they're gonna go if I don't have running water, but you got running water? Sound like you finna get some new roommates. I'm just saying, has anybody not watched all these zombie movies? You can't find one rich person on
You're
them.
absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
It don't even have to be a zombie. They're called squatters now,
Right,
honey.
I
right.
mean,
And squatters have
you know
rights.
that the rich people don't last long because the people without, they pretty good at taking.
Yeah. We have one comment in the chat. Mr. Derek Jones, he says, we're laughing, but art often
Imitates.
Right.
imitates life. But we often but art often imitates life.
Mhm.
He's talking about the Lorax.
All
Oh,
these
I already
movies,
know. I
all
already
these
know.
survival movies.
Yes. Including what was that? The Avatar?
Mm-hmm. Shoot.
That was very deep. Tron,
The last
The Last
airbender.
Airbender, Tron was also hitting on point with that. Yeah. I appreciate your engagement, Mr. Jones.
All these
Topic.
movies have shown that hey, if you keep messing with the people gonna knock you down till you on the same level with them.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
have fun if you
Yeah,
want to.
I agree.
yeah, but we also have life imitating art now.
Art imitating life and life imitating art.
Imitating art. Yeah.
How y'all see
Yep.
that smile, man? I still can't see that. I
See what?
see them comments.
I got my
Okay, that was
screen
the only
growing up
comment.
so I can see them.
Okay, I
Yeah,
see.
that was the
I
only one
got
he said.
you. Topic number three. It's deep, y'all. Topic number three is very deep, and of course, it's our local topic. Our local topic focusing specifically, but not specifically on Beaumont, because as I was going through this process of picking topics and getting subject matters to discuss and disseminate on tonight's meeting, something hit me, and it really made me think about what we are living with or in here in Beaumont and many others across the state of Texas, as well as across the United States. Stop flexing and start owning is the topic for number three. If you don't own the dirt, don't cry when they bulldoze your dream. I'm gonna say it again. If you don't own the dirt, don't cry when they bulldoze the dream. We celebrate every pop up shop, every grand opening, every festival, but where's the deed? Where's the title? Where's the leverage when the lease expires, when taxes goes unpaid, or when developers want your block? You can't flex your way into gentrification, into generational wealth. Your particular talking points for your round table or your table is black home ownership has fallen to the lowest rates since Jim Crow. Let me say that again. Black home ownership has fallen to the lowest rates since Jim Crow. Gentrification isn't coming, it's already here. Cultural ownership matters as much as physical ownership. They are erasing both. Eradication, complete and total, utter eradication. Roundtable question for my co host is, if you're renting your dream, how long before they evict your future? Can I can I say that one more time? I'm not lying. Every time I read that question, I chuckle a little bit. And sometimes I might even bust out laughing hard. But if you're renting your dream, how long before they evict your future? Evict your future. Seeds of
If you're renting a dream, you're renting at somebody else's mercy anyway.
seeds of solution. Form community land trusts. Own collectively what you can't own individually. Launch title clearing clinics to fix ODs, prevent family land theft. Invest in business collectives that buy land, buildings, not just storefronts. Our verified resources for this particular topic comes from Ground Solutions Network. Again, Grounded Solution Network has a wealth of information, including a newsletter that you could sign up for, and I would suggest you do such a thing. Their website is grounded, that's GROUNDED solutions.org, groundedsolutions.org. Our second source of resource of information comes from where did it come from? The National Black Cooperative Economic Development Alliance. And I'm having an issue with that website coming up for this particular topic. But their website is, and I'll do the abbreviations, and I might have to check that again. Let me see. Let me see. Give me the website. Give me the website. Okay, so that website isn't coming up today. Not the whole week long. It was open. But you can check back. Their website is November Bravo Charlie Echo Delta Alpha. That's NBCEDA.org. Check out their website whenever it does come back up. And again, I'm not sure why it's down, but check out their website. There's a wealth of information for our communities, especially when it comes to economic development, as well as that collective that Miss Cat was talking about in topic one. So, if you would, to my co hosts, pass this around the table. If you're renting your dream, how long before they evict your future? Perry Busby, give it to us right fast.
Uh, well, it's not so much as how long is it will be. Are you prepared? Because no one is ever prepared for eviction. You know, you you may sense it coming, but you never know when you gonna roll up and the front doors are chained and the lock that fit in. So it's more
Oh,
about the preparedness if you know that you're already on shaky ground. But I enjoy the topic because I think one of the uh, things we uh, as African Americans have truly lost and have embraced full wholeheartedly is just this whole Western culture of of families um, being disparate. I guess is the one way, because in from an Eastern point of view, we grew up where family was the nucleus. I mean, that was the house, and everything evolved from that one central place that we grew up. The family grew, and the land grew with it, not
right.
always someone went off. I mean, that's why it was always a celebration when or one would go off and in hopes of coming back. But what we see more from this Western mindset is that we go out and then all of a sudden we find out that we have nothing to really call a nucleus to come back to.
Amen.
And so that dream, whether you rented that or whatever, you soon find out that now you don't have a place to, to unlock the door, to kick your legs up, to feel comfortable. And it's something that, as an elder on here, having to admit that we have not really instilled many of those principles even into our children. I mean, our children ended up coming home because they found out their dreams was short funded, and they came back home to mama and daddy, or and they brought in even more with them.
Yeah.
So somehow we're finding this nucleus being reinvigorated more out of necessity than out of intentionality,
Hmm.
you know.
Give me something. Oh, my
And
bad.
that,
Go ahead, brother.
yeah, go ahead.
Give me something, Miss Cat.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on what Perry was talking about the eviction. It doesn't mean just losing the space. It means losing the momentum. You know, 'cause, I mean, you lose your dream, you lose your identity. You know, you lose the wealth that the dream could have built. Right. So, it's like somebody else is taking your keys.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So if they evict your future, the moment your success becomes more valuable to them than you know, like Perry said, are you prepared? You know? So that dream really has to be grounded in ownership. So, and that's what
Yes,
we need to start pushing our kids towards.
I totally agree.
Otherwise, it's just a performance on borrowed ground. That ain't good.
Oh, shows up.
It shows
Dustin,
up.
Dustin, go ahead, give us something.
Let me check my notes.
Everybody got no. That's what I'm talking about, round table.
All right, we
Come
talking
on, we
about
come to eat, baby.
how about rented dream? The hell with the rent. Who dream is it? Cause it seems like we start picking up some quote unquote American dream from some
Trying to
random
do what
people.
somebody else do.
Because I
Mhm.
remember at one
Yep.
time just having a job and providing for your family was the dream. And then all of a
That's
sudden
it.
it went
Yes.
to, oh, everybody got to go to college. College used to be for specialties. Now cats going for basket weaving just to have a college experience. You 200 grand in debt because you wanted to party at college.
Come on,
Because
accountability.
because everybody told you, oh, you got to go to college. You just got to go to college. Man, you go to that little trade school over there and start making 100 grand. But
Most
Make
nah, that
people
bank.
ain't cool. Then
most people aren't even practicing in their field that they went to college basket weaving. They're not basket weaving.
that's 90% of the people that go to college.
Facts.
They ain't
Me,
working with their degree. Go on,
not
get
my
yourself
initial
to the
degree, at
military for
least.
2 to 4 years and learn a skill.
A bunch of them. Because I guarantee you, Uncle Sam got a slew of them for you.
hmm
And
And
he even give you incentives to learn them.
yeah, and then they went with the housing. At first, it was oh, to own a house is everything. Then what the why would you own a house when you could just rent? How that makes sense? Oh, don't worry. You don't need to deal with ownership when you could just rent and have somebody else deal with the maintenance and blah blah blah. Shut up. That's stupid.
How lazy.
Y'all fell for that
Stop
old banana in the
talking.
tailpipe. Cause guess what? That apartment complex, someone owns it.
Exactly.
That rent house, someone owns it.
Yes.
That townhouse, someone owns it. So if
Yes,
they can own it,
Dustin.
why you can't?
Right.
But
Right.
people want to fall for the old, well, just rent and rent. Okay, cool. Let's say you renting and you die. What you think for happen to your stuff? Your family got maybe 30 days to come get it.
Maybe.
And then it's gonna be like you never lived there.
Right. Right.
So y'all can move on with that. Y'all ain't watch what was that barbershop where the lady was renting that house forever and the city decided to come on through and put a freeway in so that her house had to go. And that it was like, oh, I thought you owned it. Oh, I've been renting it forever, but
It's my
Hmm.
house.
yeah, nah, it ain't. It
No,
belongs to
it
the
ain't.
landlord, and now he want to sell it.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Uh we got pop-up shops. We got business expos. We got black excellence hashtags. We got it all. But tell me this. Where is the ownership? Where's the deed? Where's the security when rent triples or developers show up offering pennies on your lifetime of work? Flexing is not ownership. Visibility is not security. Gentrification isn't about pushing out the poor. It's about pushing the unprotected, pushing the unprotected, pushing the unprotected. You do not lose a block in a year. You lose it when you don't claim it, when you don't defend it, when you don't build anchors your grandchildren can stand on. You lose it
Government burned that
100%.
sucker to the ground.
Or do an eminent domain.
That too.
Black home ownership, like I said, lower now than when Jim Crow was law, y'all. Jim Crow wasn't an option. Jim Crow was the law here in the United States. Family land begins being lost because of unclear titles and unpaid taxes, or one, maybe two individuals out of the heirship or homestead sales, and they were the majority of the shareholders in the airship, and they sold the majority of their shares, which then gives the owner, now owner maybe developer or another individual, majority shares to buy you, and you out, because your shares aren't as great as the ones that they purchase and or own. Now they have an option to buy you out or move you out of the way completely, because they are majority shareholder to the property. Business owners leasing spots while investors buy entire city blocks. Wonder why we don't have an HEB in the North End? Peep the investors, not the store itself. Peep the investors. Want to know why Walgreens closed in the North End? Peep the investors. You'll find out. Want to know why some pastors ran into a brick wall when they were trying to develop housing in the North End? Peep your investors. Especially in this particular case, peep your government and your
Mm.
shadow government of who is pulling the literal strings and carpet right out from under us as generational lineage legacy dwellers here in the city of Beaumont.
And quiet as it's kept, all politics is local. That's what
Facts.
affects us the most. So it's our local elections. In plain English, it's our local elections that affect us the most. Everybody wants to come out and vote for the presidential election, but it's the local elections that affect us the most where we live and determines how we live where we live.
My
And them
challenge
joint show
to
got hijacked, but I ain't. That's another subject.
A whole nother subject, Dustin.
hey man, that's two shows away from here.
Woo!
Slow down. Slow down. It ain't yet.
Hands
We
in the
ain't
air,
yet.
feet on the gas, huh?
Right, but did y'all
oh
see Mike
man.
Getz' exit speech?
No.
Oh, buddy, he went off,
It
and I loved it.
is. Where is it? Where can we find
It
it?
I'll send it to the chat. It's on YouTube because I watch
Oh,
the city council meetings on YouTube all the time. I'll send it over.
spit into the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, Dustin. You can rent a stage, but you can't rent a legacy. You can rent a stage, but you can't rent a legacy. Either we start owning or we start disappearing or
Okay.
continue to disappear. And history will record it the way it always does, with silence after the celebration fades. To my co hosts, is the community serious about ownership or just serious about temporary applause? We have everything we need except the will to build it like tomorrow depends on it, because it does. If you can, to our audience and my co hosts as well, I don't want to leave y'all out. To our audience, though, let's open this up just a smidgen. No filters, no fake smiles. What are you seeing on the block in the schools? What are you seeing on the block, in the schools, in the neighborhoods? Stop right there.
Man, it's culture and community that makes a place desirable. So we really need to start honing in more on our culture here,
Hold on.
so that
Hold on, wait. Is that what you currently see?
I say that's a part of the solution. No, that's not what I see, but that's what we need to do.
What are you seeing currently on the block, in the
Mm,
schools, and in the
desolation.
neighborhoods? Mm, Dustin,
Mm, and
you
I'm gonna say
muted.
it again, desolation.
Desolation.
I'm seeing a bunch of underhand foolishness.
Mm,
Cause I'm be real with you. Cause Chris, I had texted you when I went out of town. Cause I had seen something, and I was like, "Wait a minute! If this is possible, why is it this way?" So, did anybody know that Dollar General actually has a market?
Then what?
Dollar General has a
A market?
I think he
Why did you
froze up.
freeze up?
market to where they sell. It's a my signal blanked out for a
Yeah, you
second.
good.
It's called Dollar General Market. To
Where's that
where
at?
it it could be well. It's where the Dollar General is basically a grocery in areas where there's not a grocery store nearby. So Beaumont
Mm,
could have really had every Dollar General be an actual grocery store instead of just this store for trinkets and bull. But you have to tell Dollar General that's what you want from them, and
mm.
they'll make the store that way.
Wow.
Because I
Now they
went
do
through
have
Period.
some groceries in this one over here, but
no,
like you said,
it ain't some
Oh,
groceries.
it's
It's a
all
full
groceries.
grocery
it's all
store.
Yeah,
grocery.
all
It
Shit.
groceries.
has it
Meat,
all.
milk,
Fresh
yeah,
fruit,
meat, milk,
meat,
eggs, and all.
all that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I remember being in Conroe at a 99-cent store. They had fresh produce. They had meat. They had salmon, frozen salmon. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like I've seen it. A 99-cent store. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've seen the little
Terry,
steaks at the Dollar Tree, but I haven't seen no salmon at the Dollar
Yeah.
Tree.
When you demand it,
control your market. Is pretty much
Okay.
what he's saying. Control your
I
market.
I hear them.
Especially being that we have buying power here in the city of Beaumont, just with black population alone, we have buying power. Make a demand for your market.
Right.
If you want better, demand better by your dollar. Perry, what are you seeing on the block, in the schools, and in the neighborhoods? Not necessarily Beaumont, because we know you're not here today, currently. But what are
Today.
you seeing?
Uh, yeah, I'm not there, but what I sense, um, because
Miss K.
everybody putting pictures on the block now. But what I sense is a leadership that is bankrupt of ideas.
Mm.
Uh, I see a
Wow.
leadership that is standing on old glories, not their own.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
um, I see a leadership that that doesn't embrace challenge,
Ooh.
and a leadership that in some ways is like our dear president at the time. They feel like I can fix it.
Yeah. 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 Where are we winning and where are we letting the dream rot on the vine? Anybody want to answer that? Where are we winning and where are we letting the dream rot on the vine?
well, we winning by sitting out these new protests keep popping up. 'Cause, they only there to arrest us. So while we letting other people get mad and voice their opinion, kind of people start to listen. because I'm starting to notice
That's not in your note, Miss Cat. Stop trying
that
to find that in your
that
notes.
more
You
and
know
more
what?
people
I'm not even looking for it.
is getting angry, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like more people being angry because maybe they'll do something.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, directed anger is something yeah,
I don't even
is
need you to direct it. Just be angry.
I prefer somebody to direct that anger
Get
because
it out your system.
we've
Angry, but
noticed
not
that
violent.
when oh
Sometimes
oh,
violence
so
is the
you
answer
say
too.
you want to be
No,
scripture, anger but not act upon it.
No,
Oh no, act upon it.
there's plenty
Get
of act in the Bible.
what Dr. King say rioting is the voice of a voiceless people.
Hmm.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Give me your final words, Dr. Campbell.
what you want my final words on. I say don't lose the dream. Don't lose your identity. And keep moving, pressing forward towards what it is that you want.
Let
And
me
definitely
specify.
rooted in ownership. Oh my goodness, rooted in ownership.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, give us something for the rest of the week, Dr. Campbell.
Yeah, that's it. Ownership
Dustin,
is
give us
key.
Dustin, give us something for the rest of the week, man.
Well, they say there's no dumb questions, but there are dumb people asking questions. So be careful who you get advice from, and watch how you give advice to others.
That's good.
Because you know there's some foolishness out there, and just because they got some gray hairs and they old, don't mean they wise. So
Watch out there now.
watch who you're
Ah,
dealing with.
come on here now, Pop. Pair Busby, give us something for the rest of the week, big bro.
Um, Follow the words of the late Dick Gregory. Stay hydrated, get rest, and keep moving.
I like that.
So we have to
I
keep
like
moving.
that. I like that. Of course, I definitely want to leave you all with this. I see you, big bro. Tony, give us something for the rest of the week.
I can't tell you. Just be safe out there. Be careful, guys. They got gun smoke in every neighborhood. No, I'm just
Every
kidding. But
neighborhood. Every neighborhood. Duck and
That's
man,
the
hide.
truth.
Yeah,
I
because
feel
people need to
tell
learn
you,
how to
man.
fight again.
Man, I don't know what it is. These young teenagers.
Nah,
Lose.
that last one, they was in them 30s.
Yeah.
That last group was a bit older.
Wow,
They
man.
Yeah,
playing them games and thinking the people gonna pop up again.
But I'm thinking about
man.
They gonna pop up. All right.
why would you throw your life away?
Over some dominoes.
Dominoes. I don't even want to play dominoes anymore. I'm too scared to play now.
But that's the problem. They probably didn't play dominoes growing up because
But
playing
wait,
dominoes taught you to lose.
Ooh.
man,
And they
even
gonna hand
even
you a
the young
loss and they gonna
people,
talk about it.
No,
right?
not just
But
lose. How?
how you get up? How you get so upset over diamond counting?
He couldn't count.
And
You
like
can't.
the math.
He can't count.
He wasn't
And
doing
maybe
His
they
that.
found out that all money wasn't good money.
his math don't math. Nah.
Man, I tell you,
Let me
Lord
leave
God.
you with this. They do not have to burn down towns anymore. They let towns starve themselves.
That's what
They
they
don't
do.
have to chain our bodies anymore. They starve our futures instead. They don't have to whip us into submission anymore. They drown us in debt, disease, fear, and distractions. But let me tell you something. You can't starve a people who plant their own food. You
Hello.
can't drown a people who control their own water. You can't
That's
erase
right.
the people. You can't erase the people who own their own land. We are at a crossroads, family. And the only thing standing between extinction and elevation is the action we take after the clapping stops. You know, Every week I tell you, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Thank y'all for watching, listening. God bless y'all. Have a good night. See
Let's
y'all
do the
next
work.
Tuesday. Let's get this work.
That's it.
See you guys next Tuesday at 9 p.m.
Yes,
on
sir.
Roundtable Talk Show.
Yes, indeed. And thanks to the Knowledge is Power Podcast Live for featuring the Roundtable Talk Show. See y'all on Sunday.